Hello friends, as promised, this is the part 2 of philosophy optional explanation. So we, in earlier video, we got to know what philosophy optional is all about. And now, as promised, I will bring or, show you some past year's questions to make you understand that how limited the syllabus of philosophy is and how repeated the questions are. So let us start. This is the paper 1 where we start with Western philosophers like Plato. So in Plato, there are majorly 2 and 3 major concepts. So it's Plato's theory of ideas, and this is also known as theory of forms. And to explain it, he has given a cave analogy, and there is epistemological, or in simple terms, the way of acquiring knowledge. So there are only 3 major topics which we have to study here and see the questions. World of ideas. This is basically theory of ideas, theory of forms, different words, same theory. Difference between knowledge and belief, again theory of knowledge, here it is. Plato's theory of forms, theory of forms, a little bit, left, right, but same theory of forms. In what sense ideas can be theory of universals and particulars is again, universals means forms, theory of forms. To prove it, he used allegory of cave, and there is a red chair, and so this is the practical application of theory of forms. And how does the Plato use theory of forms? So basically, if you learn or if you know the basic 3 concepts of Plato, you will be able to write good answers. So there is no need of going, to it's not that anything under the sun can be asked. No, topics are limited, questions are repeated, so you can master it and achieve success. And this year also, you see, a lot of students have got very good marks in philosophy. So continuing, see the next philosopher, Aristotle. So in Aristotle, we study major topics of causation, his theory of causation, and then form and matter, which is together known as his theory of substance. And this form and matter is also known as actuality and potentiality. So in essence, 1, 2, and 2 is, and this is the subpart, right? 2 topics majorly. Now see, how does Aristotle's notion of causation differ? Notion of causation, if we will read notion of causation, we will also read its difference with the science and difference with other things. Difference between, or how Aristotle came after Plato, theory of ideas of Plato, and after the how Aristotle made it a little different. Concept of substance, second topic. Matter and form, subpart of second topic. Actuality and potentiality, subpart of second topic. Second topic, substance. Theory of form and matter, again repeated. Relation. So this is idea and the world as discussed by Plato and Aristotle's criticism of it. So it is majorly a question of Plato, where Plato's theory is asked and how Aristotle has criticized it. Theory of substance, how does a form over matter, form and matter, potentiality and actuality. Aristotle, so basically metaphysical view of causes. So basically this is theory of causation. You see, we have seen questions from 2010 to 2022, majorly 3 topics only. Repeated question. If you master those 3 topics, you can sail easily. Next philosopher, Descartes. So in Descartes, we have to study basically the concept of cogito ergo sum. This is a concept basically, I think therefore I am, and how we will read it, that's a philosophical topic. We will read it, but basically he gave the dictum, I think therefore I can, I think therefore I am. And with this we see and this dictum was reached through Cartesian dualism, and this is the topic finished. Now see, existence of God, a Cartesian method, method of doubt, Cartesian method. What is cogito ergo sum? This is a different question. This is a question of Kant. This is not Descartes' question. Clear and distinct idea, Cartesian principle. So here also I cannot see it because something has come up. But basically, you see the question how Rene Descartes has explained the notion of certainty. So this is a little different question which is related to the, of course, cogito principle. But if you read 2-3 topics, done. We cover this, questions of 10 years. So this is how repeated this whole process is. Now coming to the next philosopher, Leibniz. But while I am telling you that the questions are repeated, I also want to tell you that these topics you have to read in detail. We will read these topics in detail, but definitely the syllabus and the expanse of philosophy is very less, but it is deep. So we will go, really exhaustive on the topics. Now, so the Lebanese philosophy of Lebanese is mainly known as monadology. Monads, and his worldview is something like this, and monads are basically substance. Now you see, and this method, so monads coordinate with each other according to the pre-established harmony. There is one topic, substance, that is monad, and how monads interact with each other with pre-established harmony. Second topic. First question, pre-established harmony. Second question, monadology. Are monads independent? Identity of indiscernibles is a property or a law of monadology. Pre-established harmony, identity of indiscernibles, law of monadology. This is a generic question, how rationalists and empiricists are different. These are the two branches basically. Substance of all the three philosophers. So basically whatever you see, pre-established harmony, all these questions are related to only two topics. And if you cover two topics, full philosopher, all the questions are done. We can do similar exercise for all the other philosophers also. But rather than I doing it, I would like you people to analyze all the syllabus. This is how you can do for philosophy paper 1. I'll show you some other philosophers. Maybe Berkeley you see. So there is this principle of essayist percipi, and each year you find essayist percipi in the question. There are more questions here, but I don't know why they are not being shown here. But definitely there are more questions, and every questions will have a kind of essayist percipi reflection. Similarly, Hume, all the questions are repeated. You just go analyze and read all the questions. You will find it. Now this is Western philosophy. Let us see some questions of or some topics of Indian philosophy. We will cover all these questions in our classes. So this is Charvak, the first philosopher. I'm doing 2 and 3 philosophers for your understanding how to do it, how to analyze past year questions. But you will have to do your own hard work to understand any optional. So Charvak is a philosopher whose main theory is about reason in the sense, his main theory is about only accepting the experience as the valid source of knowledge. In essence, his theory is majorly rejecting Vyapti. So don't get perturbed by the terminologies like Vyapti, etc. Yes, there are certain Indian or Hindi terminologies that we will have to use in Indian philosophy, and for that you might feel a little Sanskritized way of looking at it, but it becomes comfortable after 1 or 2 classes, and they become day-to-day terminologies for you. And there are not many terminologies. There are maybe around like 40 terminologies that you will have to do in total. So you will see this Vyapti and cause and effect. So this Vyapti is basically inference, and how he has rejected inference and how he has accepted only perception to be the true way of knowledge. This is all the question are somewhere or the other related with these arguments or these topics only. Like Jain philosophy, again all the topics his in Jain philosophy there are basically Anekantvad, Syadvad and their theory of liberation. Major three topics, all the questions are around those topics only. So this exercise is only to show you that all the questions are dealable, we can deal them, we can write about them, and the practice that requires is necessary. So if you take philosophy, focus on PYQs, and if you do them, you can master philosophy optional easily. Let us see some questions of paper 2. Socio-political philosophy. Equality, liberty and justice. Very common topics and very interesting too. So just read the questions. You will get the idea that they are so generic in nature, but definitely we will have to be a little specific about in our answers. But even if you have not studied paper 2 right now, you can still answer them. So the fundamental idea of the conception of justice is fairness. Discuss. ऐसे का टॉपिक भी हो सकता है और ये हमारा फिलोसफी का पेपर 2 का क्वेश्चन भी है. 2021 में 2011 में आया है ये. Which principle of justice can, in your view, be most helpful in addressing the issues related to caste discrimination and why? Explain and evaluate Aristotle's conception of justice. We will read all this. What is meant by justice as fairness? So justice as fairness is a concept given by a philosopher, and we will see what are the concepts associated with it. Amartya Sen's approach of Niti and Nyay. So all of these are basic questions. Equality does not mean treating everyone equal. Discuss. Equality will be of no value without fraternity and liberty. So these questions are something which can be, if you learn to answer them nicely, you will be able to score very good in your essays and even in your ethics, because the examples you use here, the theories that you use here will be useful in your ethics paper also. So this is how the socio-political questions are. You just go and see the past years questions of socio-political. You will get to know what exactly it is, like democracy, state, you know. Can citizens have rights without duties? Discuss with examples. Very generic. Can you have rights without duties? If you do not fulfill your duty, then somebody else's right will be hampered. And if somebody else is not fulfilling their duty, your rights will be hampered. So it is like two sides of a same coin. So this is it. So what is meant by democracy? See, these are very basic questions. You go back today, see, evaluate for your own self whether you like studying about these topics, whether you can understand these topics. Of course, paper 1 is a little technical in orientation, and for that, of course, I am there to teach you. But paper 2 is something you will like, or you will be able to, you will feel that you can handle even without anybody's help, but definitely. So you will have to see for your own self whether you like reading these topics, whether you are comfortable in thinking about these topics. Now the fourth part, that is the philosophy of religion. It is about, it is very interesting part where you get to learn about notions of God, whether there is one God, many gods, or there is no God. Who is right? What are the arguments for that? And if there is so much pain, then, and God can remove our pain, so whether he is not willing to or he cannot. So there are only two perspectives. अगर भगवान है और अगर वो बहुत ताकतवर है, सबसे ज़्यादा ताकतवर है, तो वो हमारे दुख हटा सकते हैं, और अगर वो हटा सकते हैं तो हटाते क्यों नहीं? या तो वो हटाना चाहते नहीं या हटा नहीं सकते, दो ही अल्टरनेटिव्स हो सकते हैं. दैट इज प्रॉब्लम ऑफ इवल. So we will see the various kinds of notions about God, कि किस किस type से gods के notions हैं, and the idea about problem of evil. We will read all these concepts, but just read and go through these questions so that you get an idea what kind of content philosophy deals with. And if you like it, then of course you can take it as an optional. If you like it, then you can do the same exercise for all the other optionals also, and then decide and choose which optional you want to choose and which you feel is best for you. Thank you so much.